Active, casual, grab your drinks. Please come forward. Don't make me feel so lonely up here. I invite Diplo's colleague to help us bring people forward. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much all for coming. My name is Yongshen. I am the one that has been bugging you in your email inbox, and also the main coordinator for Geneva Engage Awards. And for those of you who have come to our interactive workshops in the afternoon, thank you so much for coming. And for the newcomers, I will explain a little bit about what Geneva Engage is all about. So in Geneva, international Geneva especially, we have important policy discussions and negotiations happening every single day about all sorts of topics: human rights, environment, health, etc., etc., etc. How does the rest of the world know what's happening here and how exactly that is going to affect them? So this is why we started the Geneva Engage initiative around 9 years ago, I want to say. We start to evaluate how international Geneva actors are trying to relay the information and knowledge of the different policy processes here to the rest of the world, and especially to the communities very keenly affected by such policy processes. And with that, we start giving out awards, because everyone loves awards. Everyone likes to receive a little recommendation and then a little bit of commendation. So that is why in each year, we want to celebrate and recognize the efforts that international Geneva actors have put in to engaging with the crowd. Now, before we start, I would like to open the ceremony by welcoming some very important guests and partners of Geneva Engage Awards. The opening remarks, I would like to welcome Ms. Beatrice Ferrari, Directress of International Affairs, and from the Republic and Canton of Geneva.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I put my glasses somewhere? Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure to stand before you today as representative of Canton Geneva for this 9th Geneva Engage ceremony, to congratulate the nominees and also the winners, of course, that have excelled in the realm of social media communication. We are obviously living in a world where connections are made in a few hundred characters, and where diplomacy extends far beyond the closed doors. So the significance of effective communication, needless to say, you know it much better than me, cannot be overstated. The landscape of diplomacy, but also of multilateral cooperation today, has evolved a lot since, for example, 20 years ago emerged Facebook. Social media has become a really powerful tool, allowing diplomats, NGOs, international organizations to transcend traditional barriers and engage with a wider audience. While some may perceive us here in Geneva as being in a bubble, far away from some of the realities of the world, I think that we should never forget whom we are actually working for. Thus, I would like to really thank you all organizations and stakeholders involved here today for your active and effective involvement in creating connection between policy discussions that are happening here in Geneva and the communities worldwide that are actually concerned by such decisions and discussions. We think about communication as a really powerful tool. we talk a lot about disinformation, about its concrete and very detrimental effects. And perhaps nowadays, in these very uncertain and troubled times, we should also remember on the power of responsible communication in fostering understanding, cooperation, and ultimately peace as well. The use of social media in diplomacy and cooperation is not just about likes, about followers, about retweeting, etc. It's about shaping narratives, building bridges, fostering a sense also of shared and global citizenship. Effective communications is a responsibility that we all share. It's good to remember that, I think. So let us commit somehow to use this power of communication, of social media, to promote this understanding, tolerance, cooperation, and also this multilateral system that we're all working for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to welcome our Executive Director of DiploFoundation, Dr. Jovan Kerbalia, to give a welcoming remark.
Thank you, Yongshan. Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends from the diplomatic and communication community. This place is a bit symbolic. Just across the lake we have the place where Mary Shelley wrote Dr. Frankenstein, where we were all excited about technology. Around us are many organizations which deal with digitalization, information, artificial intelligence. And we are at the moment, we know how difficult and how challenging this moment is in international affairs. And this is a moment where in the past Geneva used to excel, in a sense to do reflections, to step back, to provide ideas, to provide the hope for solution of the problems. One of the questions in this context is that we have to communicate more with the rest of the world. When I say we here in Geneva, to communities, citizens, because they are looking for questions, and there are many questions, and there are very few answers. A balanced, inclusive, and proper answer. This is backdrop for today's discussion. What we are trying to do is to celebrate good, or let's say good practices, whatever is correct term these days, but to show what works in reality. We had 3 workshops. We'll have now the ceremony celebrating the winners, and after that we'll have idea bazaar, where you can walk and discuss how artificial intelligence functions. Can AI summarize meetings? What about social media? What about simple innovation, which we discuss with the colleagues from the World Heart Federation or organization? I'm maybe confused on that. They're organizing meetings by standing, like we are standing today. We are organizing meetings in the Jardin Botanique by walking. We are organizing courses by walking. Let's do also this simple innovation, which is as old as Aristotle and ancient Greece, of walking in the park and discussing important issues. Therefore, innovation is between very simple practices and advanced use of artificial intelligence. And we will try to celebrate it today through the awards and through best practices which will feature. Thank you.
If I may I invite Ms. Ferrari and also Dr. Kerbalia to be on that side? So,
Side, over there.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Also the microphone. I like hogging all the microphones. I like speaking. Well, before we go on to present about the categories in the awards, I want to first mention that in each year, Geneva Engage Awards we try to be a little bit innovative. We try to add a little bit more pizzazz in there to draw people and keep it refreshing, you know? And I thank you so much for coming for that and then taking that trap. But this year, apart from our major categories, we will also introduce 2 special categories. One is Effective and Innovative Events Award. The other one is Accessibility Award. Before we go to them, let's start with the major usual categories. So in the main categories, what we usually evaluate is quantitative metrics. We follow social media performances, web accessibility scoring, and also web relevancy of each actor's websites. And we want to say that this year we want to encourage more new and emerging actors to basically recognize their improvements in performances. Usually we have really strong actors who perform really well across the board, and we really thank them for being such good examples. And for that, we would like to give out a few honorable mentions. The first honorable mentions goes to United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. I'm not very sure if we have a representative in the room, but in any case, oh yes, thank you, please. Please. Yes, the word is right there, yes. UNHCR has been 3 times first place winners in our history, 9-year history of Geneva Engage Awards. So thank you so much for always being a great example for everyone. Thank you. The next one, I let you see a little bit sneak peek, will be World Economic Forum. I don't think we have a representative in the room, but World Economic Forum has always been performing really well across the board ahead of many actors. So for that, we want to recognize their efforts and being such a good example as well. Now moving on to the first major category, international organizations. We have a list of nominees. We have CERN, ICRC, IOM, OHCHR, UNOG, UNCTAD, UNOCHA, WHO, and WMO. As the tradition goes, we will start with the third place, or our second runner-up. UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Could we invite Ms. Amalia Navarro? Congratulations to UNCTAD and the team. Next, we have the second place, or the first runner-up, World Health Organization. Could we invite a representative of World Health Organization? Congratulations. And now, to the suspense, the winner of International Organization category is the International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC. Could we please invite Mr. Sebastian Carlietz, Global Head of Communications? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Come, don't be shy. Congratulations to ICRC. And before you go off the stage, may I please invite Mr. Sebastian Carlietz to give a few words about receiving the award.
Thank you very much. That's really a pleasure and an honor to be awarded this year. It was quite a surprise among all those noble organizations that we saw on the list. I've prepared a few notes just to make sure I pass my key messages on. So it's an honor, it's a pleasure, obviously, and it's also a relief to the teams who've been working hard with us throughout the year to reach those results. As you know, the ICRC has been facing many criticism and pretty strong challenges, including on social media over the years. So I guess this is also a sign of recognition for the work we've done to try and counter those criticism and to explain better the mandate of the ICRC and the rationale for our work. That said, we remain humble, obviously, with all the challenges ahead. First, I would like to say that we can probably do better in terms of inclusion and accessibility, and I'm glad you had a workshop on this. Our teams have participated in this, so hopefully we can learn from this and be better at this. Second, even though I understood the award was mainly based on our engagement on social media platforms in English, I would like to say as well that we are trying to reach out and to engage with audiences across the world, across geographies, beyond English and beyond Western circles, if you like, to be faithful to the universal mandate of the ICRC. So that's something we have to work more on. And obviously, as I said, if we had some strong engagement on our platforms this year, this is also because we were challenged on a number of topics and also a number of contexts, and I won't mention them here, but I'm sure you have followed that as well. So what I'd like to say as well is that we very much as an institution remain concerned about the growing challenges that we face across the board as humanitarian organizations on social media. Here, obviously, I would like to refer to data protection, individual protection, or lack thereof, if you like. And I'm sure you know what I mean. The weak or the lack of moderation of content on some platforms, misinformation, disinformation, which you have mentioned before, harmful speeches, and all other digital threats that are imposed on humanitarian organizations, but first and foremost on people that we are supposed to protect and assist, especially in context of armed violence and conflict. So the victims already of armed conflicts who are also victims of misinformation and harmful speeches. So we are thankful, we are humble, and we are concerned. And would like, obviously, to be better at tackling all those challenges and to do that together. So the ICRC is often seen as working on its own, but that's not true at all on this respect as in other fields of work as well. We would like to open up our collaboration and to learn from others, to learn from you all, to be able to share also our good practices and to learn from yours as well, so that we are better equipped to address all those challenges that unfortunately will grow bigger in the next few years. Also, maybe to go beyond social media, if I may as well, the ICRC, as you know, is a strong advocate of what we call responsible use of technologies. Generally speaking, we want to bring a humanitarian lens into the use of technologies. We would like to increase protection of civilians, in particular in armed conflict, via the use of technologies. In 2024, we're going to be pretty active on this front, as you might have heard. We'll mention only 2 initiatives among many others. One will be on artificial intelligence. We have some joint initiatives with the United Nations organizations. As you may recall, in October, we have launched a joint call. Our president, Mirjana Spoljaric, together with the UNSG, Mr. Guterres, a joint call for new norms and better protection of civilians from autonomous weapon systems. So that's one example of an area where we want to build international and to develop international humanitarian law to better protect victims of armed conflict. And the second example is the International Conference of the Red Cross and Red Crescent that will happen in October, gathering not only the full movement, but also 180 states. And one of the topics, one of the key priorities of this international conference will be very much on digital threats. We had this already 4 years ago, but there's going to be even more at the center of our discussion in October. And in particular, we are developing, as you might have heard, the project of establishing a digital Red Cross and Red Crescent emblem that will bring us, hopefully, protection not only in the physical space, but also in the digital space. So more to come, and thanks again for the award. That's a pleasure and an honor on behalf of the ICRC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now we move on to the next category. Non-governmental organizations and other associations. We have, as usual, nominees. We have 6 different nominees right now. Lutheran World Foundation, Médecins Sans Frontières, the New Humanitarian, UN Watch, World Council of Churches, and World Heart Federation. And the runner-up is World Council of Churches. May I please invite Ms. Marianne Edverston, Director of Communications, to receive the award. And for members of the team and, oh, Mr. Jean-Luc, please. Congratulations. Excuse me, Ms. Marianne Edverson, could you please stay on the stage for us? As we said, to celebrate new and emerging actors, we would like to invite traditional actors, or not traditional actors, but conventional winners, like World Council of Churches, who won last year in this category, to present the award to the new actor. This year, our winner is World Heart Federation. May I please invite Ms. Boriana Pervin, Director of Strategy and Communications, to receive the award. Congratulations. And for Ms. Pervin, could you please stay and then give a few words about receiving the award? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the recognition. Also, thank you to the Geneva authorities and to the Swiss authorities for recognizing the importance of creating a global digital community. Also, thank you for recognizing all of the actors who are present here and their contributions to a safer, to a fairer, greener and healthier world. I am honored to receive this recognition on behalf of the communications team and the World Heart Federation. I think that the beauty of our little big town, Geneva, is in its diversity and the diversity of the causes that are all present here. Communications for us is very simply the creation of community. It is also the end and the most visible result of what every single person in an organization does. So that goes beyond the communications team. Digital engagement for us at the World Health Federation means creating a meaningful connection with another human being, and that meaningful connection goes beyond our immediate family and close ones. And how we make meaningful connections with our heart. That's also at the World Heart Federation, that's where we source our inspiration from, our hearts. And because I was asked also to give some tips, I'm not going to just talk about the heart, but I'm going also to jump to some practical tips about how do you go about creating a community. And I would emphasize 4 things. I'm very tempted here to say the 4 things are simple, 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 but I will just start with simplicity, then alignment with the organizational strategy, then the courage to get out of your comfort zone and to go and chase these actors that are not necessarily immediately in your view, and then also the curiosity to get to know your audience better, to dig into their lives, to get to know your members better. So if our message is to be embraced by over 200 member organizations that we have, it definitely has to be simple. Cardiovascular disease kills over 20 million people annually. And as such, it gets the first prize being the #1 killer in the world. It is the #1 killer in Switzerland. It is the #1 killer in Ecuador. It is the #1 killer in Mozambique and in the Philippines. And I'm sure you'll also know from your experience that the members in each of these countries are different. They have different resources. They have different challenges, if you want, and you want to reach them with one message. You want them to adapt and to own the message. So you have to be very serious about being simple, about being aligned with the organization's goals, and again about being a bit courageous. So the success of any campaign otherwise would be, of any webinar, of any fun engagement during the summit where we stand and we sing and we dance. If it's not aligned with what you're trying to achieve as an organization, it will be short-lived. And when you're dealing with behavior change and when you're dealing with policy change, you are in it for the long run. So, because it won't change, will not happen overnight. So you really have to be strategic about communications. I will leave you just with the fun element. Again, don't be afraid. Our advice is to not be afraid to include fun and entertainment in your events. In social media, people go to social media also to be entertained. The fact that we're dealing with dead serious issues such as cardiovascular disease and the health of each and every one of us doesn't mean we can't have some fun in the meantime, because we at the end of the day will do everything we can to create a community of healthy hearts. I leave you with this one. Thank you.
So much. And now, the last category in the main categories is permanent representations. Again, we have a very long list of nominees, but conscious of time, I won't read all of them out. You can find them on the websites. Second runner-up is the permanent delegation of the European Union. Congratulations. And then the first runner-up is Permanent Mission of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Yes, please. The people who made it happen. Congratulations. And finally, our first place winner is... Oh, again. Oh. We have a bug. May I please continue? It is the permanent mission of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. May I invite Ambassador Bilal Ahmed to receive this award. Congratulations. And if I may, Ambassador Ahmed, could you please give a few words about receiving this award?
Thank you very much, and it is a privilege for me to be standing here and receiving this award on behalf of the Permanent Mission of Pakistan. And I must dedicate this award to my Deputy Ambassador Zaman Mehdi, who's been here for more than 2 years now. So the award that we are receiving has been, the work has been led by Ambassador Zaman, and I must also admit that I'm here, relatively new, almost 3 months here, but my predecessor, Ambassador Khalil Hashmi, who spent 3 years here. So much of the assessment that you've done has been spearheaded by him. He's our ambassador in Beijing. So I must acknowledge the good work that he has done. I had a statement as we are as diplomats. We prepare statements for everything, and we had one for here as well. But I thought I think we should learn to relax a little and speak what we want to speak. I don't have great words to share with you, but this award means something to me personally. This is one area in which I think that I have grown tremendously as a diplomat. This is my second stint in Geneva. The last one was from 2009 to 2012, and I've had several meetings here in WMO building as well. But we did not have a social media account at that time. So when I departed from Geneva in 2012, I don't recall that we had a social media presence of our permanent mission here. And standing here about 12 years later and receiving this award is a reflection of how our diplomacy, Pakistan's diplomacy, has grown over the years. And personally as well, we diplomats are very, we are cautious and we're very careful about our words. And I must admit that I joined diplomacy some more than 20 years ago. And we are always reluctant when we have to put out words on social media. We have to be very careful. And initially, we looked at the social media with a lot of caution. What is it going to have? What is the impact that it will have? And we took it as something, an additional work for us. That thing has changed, of course. And Pakistan's diplomacy has adapted to that. I would also recall something from almost 200 years ago, when Lord Palmerston was first handed over telegram. He's believed to have uttered, "This is the end of diplomacy." But diplomacy evolved, incorporating new elements of technology. And I think that throughout my career, I have learned the importance of it. To see that we have done that effectively is a credit to my team, but something which reinforces to me the utility of the social media and the connectivity that it brings. For us, I must share, from several angles it has been useful. From initial jitters to using it, to be able to use it effectively and frequently enough. One, of course, which everyone knows, to connect with the people. We are far from our home, and there is a lot of skepticism in public, especially given the global environment and in multilateral setup where it is not easy to make progress. There's a lot of skepticism in public of what we do as diplomats and what we are able to achieve. So in terms of displaying our work to the electorate, which ultimately has to judge what we do as part of the government, it is very important to do that. Secondly, it is also very important in getting a feedback from these people, because when we connect, we do get responses, sometimes nasty ones, but you have to be able to absorb them and see the spirit in them, which is a reflection of some sort of accountability or a judgment of how our work is being viewed by the people for whom we do this work. And thirdly, I think it helps us in relaxing a bit, connecting with our colleagues over here. Most of the times, as permanent mission, our job is to go to the forum, and we have our definitive positions where we negotiate. But it is very helpful to be able to connect with our colleagues at a human level. And when we sit down and be in a relaxed atmosphere, we are able to see how similar we are despite the different positions that we project on the multilateral fora. From that perspective, I think it has a role. Social media enables you to connect with your colleagues and help you build those linkages which are ultimately useful while resolving issues here. There must be some more aspects I can't think of, but in terms of time, I think these are the thoughts that I wanted to share with you. But I must appreciate the DiploFoundation for the work that they've done, the training and capacity building, and some of the more areas where we can make it more effective. The idea is not to win the awards, and I don't think that my team had any sight of this award. The idea is to build on it, build more linkages, and learn how to make it more effective. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. Thank you. Moving on, that is the end of our main categories, and we are going to present our special categories. The first one is Effective and Innovative Events Award. And the winner of this category is United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, eWeek 2023. Congratulations.
You must not leave, because you're the real champions of the eWeek. And for those of you who don't know UNCTAD, it's the UN Conference on Trade and Development. We cover a lot of things, but one of the things that we look at is how to make developing countries have a better chance of benefiting from e-commerce and the digital economy. And in this contest, I would like to also reach out to my colleagues there from the comms team, because they played a very, very important role in the eWeek as well. Having a responsibility to support digitalization in developing countries, you have responsibility also to make sure that whatever we do here in Geneva is on the frontier somehow. And when we organized the eWeek for, I think, 7th or something time, we wanted to do something different this year. or last year. And so Sabrina and I, we were thinking, what do we do in this case? And we both came to the same conclusion: we need to talk to Diplo. So we reached out to Jovan and Zorina, and I think it's about a year ago that we met in this building to start brainstorming what can we do. Because one of the biggest topics of today, as you know, is artificial intelligence. And it's one thing to talk about artificial intelligence, and we had fantastic speakers at the e-week talking about artificial intelligence, including the ambassador of the UK, who's here with us today. But we wanted to do something different. And Jovan told us, why don't you walk the talk? Why don't we implement artificial intelligence generated reporting from the 150 sessions with, I don't know how many speakers we had, but several hundred. And we were able to work together with Jovan and Zorina and the Diplo team, and we're generating something unique, I think. And that was extremely welcome from all the participants, and we learned so much in the process. I think also Diplo learned a lot in the process. So this award is not only to UNCTAD, it's about the collaboration here in Geneva. And I would also like to express our deep appreciation for the role that Diplo is playing in the Geneva digital landscape to really reinforce what we can do together rather than only as individual organizations. So thank you again for this honor, and also thank you for the great collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again. Lastly, our last special category, Accessibility Award. Before we present the nominees, I want to talk a little bit about this process. We used to do quantitative analysis using Google's Lighthouse Accessibility Audit Automated Checker. It is a checker that will just simply go through the website and see how the website code complies with certain standards like WCAG, etc. But this year, we not only choose the top scoring actors, we also invite our in-house experts to go through their website, check how much their website is actually compatible with assistive tools. And with that notion in head, I will now present the nominees. We have the Geneva International Center for Humanitarian Mining, Permanent Mission of Canada, Denmark, Iceland, Italy, Norway, and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And the winner of this category is the Permanent Mission of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. May I please invite the ambassador, Simon Manley, to come on stage and receive the award? Oh, thank you. Congratulations. And may I invite you to give a few words about receiving the award?
Okay.
We can take
care of that. Okay, well look, everybody loves an award. I have to say my comms team did give me the impression that I'd be joined here by Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but you know, look, genuinely, it's a real honour to be awarded this as a mission, and what a great thing to be awarded for. I can't think of a thing I'd be prouder for us to be awarded for than this, and it matters to us enormously. And it matters to us enormously because diversity and inclusion are at the heart of everything we try to do as a mission, as part of the multilateral Geneva community, and as a government. And I do feel a little bit of a fraud, however, because I think this is primarily about the way that we as government approach this. And it's particularly about the way that our main government website approaches this. So for those of you who are eager to read the statements of me and my colleagues here in the UK mission, you go to something called www.gov.uk. And although this is all loaded up by the excellent Jo here, who is, and it has been at various times in the last year, she has been my entire comms team. But although she may be doing the loading up, this is about the approach that we take as government to our digital comms. And it's about putting accessibility and diversity and inclusion first. And although I would love to speak with the fluency of my Pakistani colleague, I actually wanted to quote you what it says in the rather dull guidance produced by our digital service, our government digital service, because I think lies behind why we've been so honoured by this award today. And it says that everything that we build should be as inclusive, legible, and readable as possible. If we have to sacrifice elegance, so be it. We're building for needs, not audience. And it follows on from that in the way that they frame all of their digital comms, they are mindful of the diversity of that audience, whether it be hearing impaired, viewing impaired, cognitively impaired, or simply people who are frankly unfamiliar with the weird and wonderful world that we inhabit here in Geneva or elsewhere. So it is about putting accessibility and diversity first. And I don't even dare to claim that we have solved this, that we know how to do it all. It is a learning process. But it is about thinking each and every time that we do something here, whether it be a statement that we're uploading and the format that we give to it, or a video that we're posting, we're thinking, how will this be consumed by that diverse audience to make it as accessible as possible? So thank you. It's an encouragement to us to do even better. Thank you very much indeed.
Congratulations again, and thank you so much. Please don't forget about the award. With that, we have come to the end of our award ceremony. Thank you so much for coming. And I would like to welcome all of you to join us at the Idea Bazaar outside, I think. Yes, we will have corners set up with Diplo's experts and different lecturers to discuss about Diplo's work, and you can ask questions. If you have any questions about Geneva Engage Awards methodology, we will also have a table for that as well. So thank you so much for coming again, and please enjoy the reception.
Okay. We are not experts in the handshaking, good for politicians. We don't know how.